Meeting called to order. Please rise to pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of members, please.
Councilmember Southwick. Here. Councilmember Bory.
Here.
Councilmember Hunter. Supervisor Trombley.
Here.
And Councilmember Moore is absent.
Okay, we have presentation of the minutes for the August 12th meeting. Obviously, we had a lot to do. It's pretty thick. We all had time to go through it. And so I welcome a motion to approve it as presented.
I will make that motion to approve the minutes of the August 12, 2025 meeting as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion, any corrections required or revisions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We don't have anybody here tonight, so there's no communications and general question period required. And since our public hearing starts at 7:15, we'll move on with my report next. Good evening, everybody. Results of Sammy the Rock Snake for the summer. Sammy measured 23 feet 2 inches in length at the end of May. He's now 26 feet 1 inch long, which remains about the same as last month. We are planning on picking Sammy up and storing the rocks inside for the winter. If anybody wishes to go pick up their rock, their artwork, you're more than welcome to. Before I pick them up, it'll be, I'm sure, a week or two before I get out there. Then we are planning on putting them back in the spring, and we'll continue with this fun program based on participation again this year. So I want to thank you all that have added their artwork to Sammy. It's appreciated. It's fun, especially for the youngsters. The first annual Labor Day Community Car Show was held at the VFW Post 1418 on St. John's Road, Champlain, New York, to benefit the North Country Honor Flight and the VFW. That was last August 30th to 31st. It was a Labor Day car show. It was very well attended, and there were about 60 cars entered in the show. And I had the honor of doing the town supervisor's pick/award, which was very difficult because there were so many great cars. But the town supervisor's award went to Ron Boise with his beautifully restored 1979 Chevy Z28 Camaro. Congratulations again, Ron. And I want to congratulations to the organizers for a very well organized event. It was beautiful. It really went well. What a nice spot for it. Fun run. We are hoping to have our annual 3K/5K run on our Harry J. McManus Northern Tier Rec Trail again this fall. This is an event for the town and both villages. It is not scheduled yet, as we just began planning for it. We are meeting soon, hopefully, to complete the details, and very soon we will be advertising the details on our website, date and time. Last year it was in October, so stay tuned for the date for this year's run. I'm waiting to hear from Adam Cater and Rod Garrett. Thank you to all who participated in our Putin Challenge this summer. This year we had 3 more contestants that completed and handed in a passport. Although there were many that participated but did not have time to fill their passports based on the number of validations that were given out by the restaurants. That's what we're basing that on. T-shirts are being finalized. They'll be awarded to the participants who handed in their completed passports as soon as they are completed. Thank you to our participating restaurants for doing this. Again, our Eat Smart, Waste Less Food Waste program is going well. Please consider joining in, as it is a great program that will help reduce the amount of methane gases in our landfills and create compost for our farmers. Complete information on this program can be found on our website, or just stop in the office to ask about it. We'll give you the materials. The Next Trex Plastic Program. Thank you to all who have been donating plastics to be recycled for this project. And again, thank you to Price Chopper Market 32 for sponsoring this. To date, since we started this in 2023, we have collected over 5,000 pounds of plastic, which have provided 5 benches and kept all that plastic out of the landfill. Thank you to all our partners, Northern Tier Senior Housing, Champlain, Rouse's Point Kiwanis, A.M. Derringer, CPG, and Champlain EMS. Report on projects. Comprehensive Plan Revision. The next Comprehensive Planning meeting is tomorrow, September 10th. Details of the public workshop event held on May 22nd is posted on the Smart Growth Comp Plan link on our website. Please visit our website periodically to keep informed on how this is going, because it's getting close to the end. Miramar Properties, the 19 acres with the mall and the adjoining 7.5 acres. I'm waiting to hear if there is any progress towards the sale of the property. I reached out just this week. The 22 acres submitted for housing, that same buyer that has interest in the property is also planning on some type of housing there, so it's dependent on him being able to purchase the 19 acres with the mall, so keep our fingers crossed. The Bob Van Community Park, the fitness court project. On August 21st at 10 a.m. we conducted the ribbon cutting ceremony and a kickoff event that included demonstrations of the equipment. The event was very well attended and was not only informative but fun to see as well. A special thank you goes out to our NCCS student athletes who participated and really completed the event. Also, I wish to extend our thanks to Darcy Castine, Phyllis Courier, Joanne Ryan for their time and efforts initiating a wonderful demonstration showing how to use the equipment. Thank you, it was so appreciated. And note, there is a group that meets every Monday from 3:45 to 4:45 at the fitness court, and they welcome anyone who wishes to join them for a little exercise, and I believe they go for a walk for a warm-up, and then they only spend about 10 to 15 minutes at the court going through the stations. Pickleball courts, the excavation work on the double pickleball courts is scheduled to start this week, hoping to have it completed this fall. Great Shazy River Project. The LCLGRP has submitted the grant application to New York State Department of State for a local waterfront revitalization program, LWRP. It has been through the regional review and is now with the state for approval, hopefully. I will update when more information is available. The Clinton County Health Department complete streets. Items still in the queue for completion in the near future. The crosswalk at Church and South Street. The removal of the shared road markings on Prospect, although they're almost worn down. And the installation of new road markings on the trail. And no parking signs for Perry's Mills Park. We're chipping away at it very slowly. There's never enough time in a day. Elm Street Culvert Project. Stantec is currently developing design alternatives and preliminary plans. The target completion of design is scheduled for the end of this month. We expect to be under construction summer of 2026, next summer. Sewer District 7 project. We are currently working with the Village of Rouse's Point to approve the draft intermunicipal agreement, the IMA, and this will be discussed under new business tonight. And Barton and Judas are currently drafting the development, design, and preliminary plans for construction. Please note, the engineering firm currently has staff visiting all properties within the district to collect initial data for the design documents. Be aware that someone may be knocking on your door in the next few weeks to ask questions, take photos, and take measurements of your current utilities. If you're not home when they knock on the door, you're liable to find a doorknob piece of paper hanging there with information to call them back for an appointment. And the next that I pulled out of here was part of the first part. We will be having 3 town hall informational meetings. First one is this week, September 11th, on Thursday. So on the ballot this November, there will be a referendum allowing the electorate to decide to change the highway superintendent position from elected to a higher position. The town board feels this is it is important for the electorate to understand what led to the decision to make this recommendation and why we feel this is needed to maintain the higher standards and experience we have become accustomed to. With that in mind, please consider attending one of the 3 meetings listed below. If you are unable to attend, please scan the QR code, which can be found on flyers that I've put out throughout the town at local businesses and schools, and it can also be found on our website as well. And feel free to stop by the town office or in person or call 518-298-8160. The meetings are this Thursday, September 11th at 6:30 p.m. at the Rouse's Point Rec Center, Halsted Hall, 39 Lake Street, Rouse's Point, New York. And I must add that we are also scheduled to have someone here from Clinton County to answer questions regarding the ash tree management program. I'm sure you've seen ash trees all through the township, including both villages, marked with orange marker, hopefully to be taken down this winter. They're almost ready to go out to bid, but if you want details on how this is working, why your tree in your yard wasn't marked, but the tree that your neighbors near the sidewalk was, those types of things, please come. It'll be a very informational meeting, excuse me. The second meeting, again for both subjects, it will be at St. Mary's Parish Center, 86 Church Street, in the village of Champlain on September 24th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. And then the third meeting will be October 22nd, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. here at the Town of Champlain offices, 10729 Route 9, Champlain, New York. And now just for a few public announcements, we still have mosquito dunks. We can't seem to get rid of those guys. Soon the mosquitoes will be gone.
Mosquitoes either.
So I'm sure in April you'll be hearing from me again. We still have mosquito dunks to give away. The county had supplied them last year, and we still have a ton of them. Please visit our website and Facebook page for information on events going on around the town. And again, the town is continually seeking to appoint more alternates to the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Board. Please consider serving the town in this capacity, as we need talented citizens of this township to become involved and assist us in moving forward. And please contact me for details about the requirements or what the job is like. Any questions you have, if you're considering it, please contact me. I'll be glad to talk to you. And again, please don't feel free to stop in. I'll be happy to discuss the town's projects and objectives with you anytime. And thank you to all veterans and active military men and women for your service. And thank you to all of our first responders, both paid and volunteer, of our EMS and fire departments, and our police officers for your dedication to your community. And I realize I forgot something else in the report, unless you're going to report the ribbon cutting probably, right? For the, was it going to? Okay.
Oh, you mean for the fire department?
Yes, for the fire department.
Yes.
Okay, that'll get reported
Correct.
in Councilmember Hunter's report.
Correct.
Okay. 7:17, that is perfect. So now I need a motion to recess the regular meeting and open the public hearing for adoption of local law number 4.
I'll make a motion to exit the regular business meeting and enter to the public meeting to the public hearing for local law number 4.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we don't have anybody present in the public to speak in regards to this. Do any of you have any comments? Or are we all happy with where we're at, right? I'm assuming?
Should we just remind everybody what this is?
Yeah, I'm gonna read through the I'll give them a brief reading of the local law so that everybody is reminded what we're doing. This is an amendment to Chapter 76, Fire Prevention and Building Construction, to add a new subsection 76-18 entitled Controlled Rapid Entry System for Emergency Services of the Code of the Town of Champlain. what this is, I'm just gonna give you an explanation. I don't wanna read all this again.
I do have a little bit, if you want notes on that, on the requirements.
On the requirements, yeah, go ahead.
So the requirements are, this is for a commercial or industrial structure
No, I couldn't read that.
protected by the automatic alarm system or automatic suppression system, or those secured in a manner that restricts access during an emergency, to include multifamily residential structures, government structures, nursing home, or nursing care facilities, public and private educational facilities, and all newly constructed structures. All existing structures will have 1 year from the effective date to comply with provisions.
And also one other that was added on here, any daycare facility deemed to require a lockbox by the code enforcement and or the fire department. And for those of you that aren't aware of what the lockbox is it is only able to be opened by the fire department, by a code that is given to them, and inside that box, the business owner or owner of the building would have to provide a key for access, and it's a lot better than having your doors all busted down for them to get in, because they have to be able to get in. So, that's in a nutshell, I believe, right? When I read the resolution, maybe we'll get a little more pointers. So if there's no other further questions, then I guess I welcome a motion to close the public hearing and re-enter the business meeting.
Make a motion to close the public hearing on
Adoption of local law.
adoption of local law number 4 and re-enter the regular business meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I believe. So here now. Okay. Okay, so now we go into report from the council members. Councilmember Southwick, would you
Sure.
start tonight, please?
Happy to. The planning board met on 8/7/2025. They had one subdivision that was tabled as no one was there to represent that discussion. The next meeting will be held 9/4 at 5:30 here at the town. Should there be any items on the agenda to present, and I believe the minutes from the meetings are in already, I think. An update on our summer youth swim program. We did in fact have 133 participants, with 129 advancing their skills for next year. And I want to thank Liam McDonough, our director, and also he is now a new physical education teacher at Northeastern. Roseanne Merrill and Liz Guerin, who are our WSI water safety instructors, and all of our lifeguards who assisted in teaching our children how to swim. And to those of you who have been waiting patiently to resurrect our adult swim program, we are moving closer to finalizing all the arrangements. We currently have one coordinator for the lap swim program and one coordinator each for 2 water aerobics classes. We have secured now 5 lifeguards that are available to help us. So if anyone is interested in any of these programs, please feel free to call my work telephone number at 518-298-1111 and leave your name and your contact number, and I will be happy to put you on a list and give you a call and give you some more details. And that's all I have to report. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that's great. And that's awesome that you have 5 lifeguards secured for us.
Minimum right now, so I have a list.
Awesome. That's great, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Bordy.
All right, I'll start with the ZBA, Zoning Board of Appeals. They held a meeting on the 21st of August at 5:30 right here at the town office. They did hold a public hearing. They did approve an area variance application. And the next meeting will be on September 18th at 5:30 right here at the town office. And they do have a public hearing scheduled for that, for another application for an area variance. So that's again, September 18th, 5:30 right here at the town office, Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. I'll talk about marketing. The final business testimonial premiered this week through our website, Facebook page. And if you can look at some of the videos and the views that they're getting, it's really very impressive. You know, thousands and thousands of people are watching them. So yeah, it's great. Many thanks to our helpful marketing team at Boyer Benner Group for the work that they put in to film, edit, and then get those videos out. And of course, I'd like to thank our participating businesses and organizations for this round. Nephews Discount Wine and Liquor, Shazy Yacht Club, North Country Golf Club and Grill, American Vintage Barber Company, Champlain, Moore's EMS, and Ristorante Casa Capitano. So many thanks to them. And if your business or organization in the town of Champlain would be interested in being a part of our next round of business testimonials, please feel free to reach out to Sarah here at the town office, or I'm sure the supervisor would love to take your phone call, because we'll be compiling our next list of businesses for the next round. So I know we already have some on the list, but if you're out there and you would like to be a part of this, we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
And speaking of which, our social media is really a way for us to communicate with the outside world, not just to our locals, but to exactly that, outside of our community. So anytime you can like, comment, or share our posts on our social media, our Facebook, our Instagram, letting people know about our website, it's really important. The more we share, the more we comment, the more we engage with the posts, the better the posts do. So we encourage you to do something that is helpful for letting people know about why this place is so great. So please engage in that. And if you have anything that you are doing, your organization is doing, that you would like us to put on our website, that you'd like us to post through our social media, please let us know, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. All right, just some events. Reminder that as the time we're taping this, we're just before the Battle of Plattsburgh weekend, which takes place September 11th through the 14th. There are multiple events that take place in the greater Plattsburgh area. I do know that there is reenactments, and they do have some that are inclusive of our area, as our area was included in this particular battle in the War of 1812. If you want more information about the Battle of Plattsburgh, you can go to www.battleofplattsburgh.com for all that information. Our next food truck event here at the town office will be on Wednesday, September 17th. That's going to be from 4 to 6:30 right here at the town office in the parking lot. And we have Lightning Lardy's Barbecue, a crowd favorite. Lightning Lardy's done several events with us as we started doing these food truck events. So come on out and support Lightning Lardy's Barbecue. That's Wednesday, September 17th from 4 to 6:30 right here at the town office. I'll put in a plug for the Champlain Memorial Library is going to be hosting a workshop for seniors 55 and older on growing an indoor herb garden. And they're going to be doing this in October. That's October 9th at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So spread the word if any of you thinks that would be good. I know indoor gardening is something that seems like it's a little more popular now. So an opportunity for some of our older residents to get involved with that. And one more thing, another thing for our living healthy here in the North Country. So this is an initiative that's being put together through our Clinton County Health Department, Get Healthy North Country. There's going to be several workshops that are going to take place at the Champlain Meeting House in the village of Champlain. They're going to take place on September 17th, 24th, as well as October 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd. This is through the Clinton County Office of the Aging in connection with the Clinton County Health Department to help individuals as they get older, from 18 and over, like how to live a healthy lifestyle and for your particular age range or potential drawbacks or weaknesses or situations that may hamper your healthy living. So there's several different opportunities through these in-person sessions. So feel free to reach out to the Office of Aging at 518-565-4666 to get more information. You can also register at Get Healthy, let me see if we can get this right, Get Healthy NOCO, so gethealthynoco.org, that's the website. And just one comment as we approach September 11th, it's always important to take a moment to reflect and remember what happened. Hard to believe it'll be 24 years ago on September 11th when it seemed like the unthinkable occurred. For those that were alive and remember that, there is now a multitude of people that were not alive when that took place and don't necessarily have that real-time connection. But September 11th was a day that changed attitudes, policies, and kind of how we view things in the United States. So Patriot Day, take a little time to reflect on that, those people who needlessly died on that day, and to all the first responders and heroes that day that in their selfless acts to help those that needed assistance in the various places that were attacked. So ends the report.
Thank you, Councilmember Bory, but I apologize, I went to my phone during your report because you cued in on something. So there is a couple of items I should mention in regards to the 1850 markers for the Northern Rutland Railroad.
Oh, yes.
There is going to be dedications. It's actually part of the America 250, and the Women of the World donated funds again to pay for these historical markers. So on September 27th at noon, it's not even on these minutes, but I know at noon we're supposed to be starting in Moore's at the old Rutland Station, which is at the end of Depot Street. And from there at 2 p.m. we go to Prospect Street in the village of Champlain. And then at 3 p.m. at Veterans Park, Village of Rouse's Point. That's on Montgomery Street, correct?
Yes.
On Montgomery Street. So, thank you for cueing my memory, that should have been mentioned. That's one of our first American 250 events kicking off here, and the rest will start, the next one scheduled for, we have currently will be in May of 2026. Thank you. Councilmember Hunter.
Okay, we'll start off with the Champlain Fire Department. They want to extend a huge thank you to all of the parties that attended the ribbon cutting ceremony last week. It was a huge success. They also have an issue with a dry hydrant that is located on the Lakeshore Road in the town of Champlain.
Besides being out of the water due to current drought conditions, they did notice that the strainer is missing and that some damage has been done to the pipe. CFD is working with the town of Champlain and their membership to repair this hydrant while the water is low. Parts are currently on order and they should arrive within the week. Also, two very important dates regarding the new Champlain Fire Department. There will be a community grand opening celebration held on Saturday, October 11th, and that is at 11 a.m. And October, of course, is Fire Prevention Month, and part of that celebration, the Champlain Fire Department likes to hold their annual breakfast, which will be held on Sunday, October 12th, and details will follow. Rouse's Point Fire Department held their recent meeting last night. There is nothing to report in regards to this. The farmers market coupons, we've already mentioned throughout the summer. The last Rouse's Point Farmers Market of the summer will be held this coming Friday, September 12th, from 3 to 6 p.m. And in the village of Rouse's Point, there is 2 upcoming village board meetings to be aware of. Mark your calendars for Monday, September 15th and Monday, October 6th. They are at 7 o'clock at Halstead Hall. Again, regular monthly meetings are the first and third Mondays of each month, and they are open to the public. And you can always check out the Village of Rouse's Point's website and go to their calendar for any changes or updates. Rouse's Point Dodge Memorial Library will be holding a number of events. Their Library Board of Trustees will hold a meeting on Wednesday, September 10th at 5:15 p.m. in the Ross Nonfiction Room. Again, meeting is open to the public. The Friends Board of Directors meeting meets on the 3rd Wednesday of the month, and their next meeting is September 17th from 5:30 p.m. till 6:30 p.m. open to the public. And their Library Book Club meets the last Wednesday, September 24th, from 7 to 8 of the month in the Ross Nonfiction Room. New members, again, are always encouraged. And for more information, you can call the library at 518-297-6242. JCEO is offering an upcoming daycare training on Thursday, September 18th. This is an online session to learn how to become a registered daycare provider in a free informational session from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. To register, you can email Chris at danussica@jceo.org. As fall weather is approaching and cold weather approaches, usually Councilman Bory reports on this in regards to energy assistance. Keep in mind that home energy assistance programs, HEAP, is available to eligible low-income families and individuals with their heating costs. Applications, again, typically don't open up until November, but I want to bring that to the public's attention now. And again, to apply for this, you can apply through one of 3 agencies. You can apply through Clinton County Department of Social Services, the Joint Council of Economic Activity, or JCEO, and also, again, as mentioned earlier, the Clinton County Office for the Aging. So please be aware of that. Also, in regards to food assistance, the St. Patrick's Church in Rouse's Point has a food bank that is open each Wednesday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. for those people that may be struggling and need some food assistance. And also the JCO, the nonprofit agency that runs several food pantries throughout Clinton County. There are many, many locations and hours, and the JCO in Champlain may be reached by calling 518-298-2373, and they're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Also, for all-purpose types of assistance. It could involve anybody of any age. There is a wide range of social services and public assistance programs that you can access by dialing 211 anytime. This is a national hotline, and it provides information on topics such as food, housing, health, as well as utilities. In regards to charter communications, changes this month. Spectrum Northeast LLC recently learned that on or after August 26th, Music Choice is making some updates to their channel lineup, including reordering, renaming, and adding new channels and moving channels to the Music Choice app. And you can go out to spectrum.net to actually find what those updates look like. Also, on or around September 20th, Olympusat will terminate distribution of the Victory channel. And last, in regards to charter communications, on or around September 30th, Spectrum Northeast will launch the Disney XD, Disney Junior, Freeform, FXX, FXM, National Geographic Wild, National Geographic Mundo, and Baby TV. And again, if you have any questions, these again are all out of Charter Communications' hands, but you can call 315-634-6170. And last, regarding the EDU Appeals Board, I do have a report that I will give to each of the members that will kind of summarize what the final EDU role looks like after our July 2025 meeting and the additional discussions that we had. And one last message, and this is specifically to people that work inside of the town. The local school does have excess supply of ledger and legal paper to donate to the town. So if Julie, Sarah, people are interested in regards to what size and type of paper, we can get that for you. So, and that's the Moore's Elementary.
Just contact Moore's Elementary.
Moore's Elementary, and ask to speak to Wade Bush.
Yep.
I want to mention one thing that Councilmember Hunter brought up about assistance. I know the village of Champlain, often, as the JCO office is right next door, they often have food that's available. Just their Facebook page, every time there's food available, they have bread, fruits, there's often all kinds of things, and it's at no cost. So you just need to show up to the village office and you can help yourself to those items, and it happens quite often. So I would say like their Facebook page and watch for those posts, and it's an opportunity to also get some food assistance for those that need it.
Thank you. And I guess the last thing I would add in regards to food assistance, in regards to the St. Patrick's Church, is that they're always looking for people to donate also. Recently, the actual list that has gone out has included many items, especially now that kids are back in school and you might have some single parent homes. They're looking for a number of things. So I will provide that list to Sarah, and she'll make sure that gets out on our website.
Yeah, and I gotta add, since we're on this subject, because I didn't have it in my report, but the Knights of Columbus is conducting their 14th annual food drive at Price Chopper on September 26th and 27th. Please come and donate some of the suggested foods. When you go there, you'll meet us. We'll tell you, we have a listing of what's always needed. And I always pray for the Can Crazy sale, because that always gives us a lot of stuff. But as you know, this goes to Morris Wesleyan Food Pantry that serves Rouse's Point, Champlain, Shazy, Altona, West Shazy. It's the reason why we at the Knights chose that 14 years ago, and it serves the whole community, and they are in desperate need. They have less USDA funding this year, and they have more people signed up, so they're in desperate need. So thank you. Thanks for reminding me. I didn't have it in my report. So again, it's September 26, 27, 9 to 5.
So ends my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Hunter. Report from town clerk, please.
You have my monthly report for approval.
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll make a motion that we approve the town clerk's monthly report. Local shares were remitted were in the amount of $1,873.68. Non-local was in the amount of $733.92.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
You also have the utility detailed billing register for the quarterly water bills.
Any changes, Julie, that we should be aware of?
Just that we had added, Champlain Fire District. They're actually not on this report because, I had to add them as a new customer, but there must have been a step that was missed because it didn't come up on the report, so I gotta call Edmonds tomorrow and figure out and do a separate bill just for them. But they had, they're
Yeah.
supposed to be on here, but
Do you know if they did a final reading yet of the contractor's meter to switch over? Because they were supposed to do that too.
I'm not sure. I
Okay.
know that they have usage of like 6,000 gallons. That's what it was.
Okay.
The report from the village.
Okay. Under the district's name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Champlain Fire District.
And they
yeah.
must have got a reading in. That was a week
Yeah.
ago I spoke to Mary about it.
But
Okay.
that'll be added to this total at the bottom, 6,000, so it should be 339 instead of
Instead of 338,
the
4, yeah.
yeah,
So total water usage was 3.384 million.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll make a motion that we approve the water report as submitted.
Thank you. I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I just wanna let everyone know that hunt season is around the corner, so hunt licenses are available at the town office. And, of course, it's tax season, school taxes.
Everybody's happy there.
Yes, so I am in the office from 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, and I go to lunch from 1 to 2. So if anybody wants to come in and pay their taxes,
Hmm.
I'm here.
You'd be surprised how fast everybody.
Come and visit Julie.
And I collect until the end of October too, so everybody knows.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you very much. So next is the review of the post audit bills, the abstract. Always pretty standard, any questions on it? And for those out there, these are your standard insurance payments, hospitalization payments, et cetera, et cetera. These are standard every month. And now for approval of the monthly bills. You've provided this. I don't think we have any additionals, did we?
Oh, we
Yeah.
didn't receive any additional.
No,
We didn't think so. I have additionals, I have to search for my total. There you are. Got stuck. So the total list amount is $241,644.90. And we have, $151,000 for upstone materials, for paving, so it's a large chunk of that. And
Roadside material,
Roadside
another
material.
14,
Yep, and also,
Village of Champlain.
almost 14,000 roadside material.
Yeah. And then the court heat pump that is through the grant, that's almost another 15.5.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Look at a motion to approve the bill list as presented.
I'll make a motion that we approve the town bills.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Suffolk? Aye. Councilmember Maureen?
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter?
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley?
Aye. Thank you, motion carries. Code officers report, we've all been presented with that. Are there any questions regarding that I could answer, or if not, I could find out and get it to you?
Might be good to remind people how they can get in contact with the code enforcement officer using our website.
Yeah, you
And
can,
the forms that we
Yeah.
can fill out on
if
the.
you go on the website to codes, you will find all the necessary forms for building permits, contact information, to contact the code officer. But the best way is to electronically fill out your forms. If you're unable to do that, then please contact him. He'll see that you get a hard copy supplied to you. Any questions on it?
No.
Okay. I didn't get a dog officer's report, did
I did not.
No, you did not get one this month? Okay. I'll check with Joey. See if everything's okay. Usually does. Report from the highway superintendent. We'd like you all to know they're currently screening sand in our sand pit to get ready for hauling for the next season, which I always get to see come. Our paving here in the town is completed and the shoulder work is complete, but please be aware there is still some tree work ongoing. So please be cautious and slow down in their work areas for safety, both yours and theirs. And also, they are currently assisting mowers with their paving. So we got a couple of trucks there.
Do you know if they've kind of used up most of that sand pit that they've been taking sand from? Because I thought last year they were getting close to.
I think I'll check with them.
Okay,
Because I
I'm just curious.
haven't thought to ask them this year, but I think this year might just about finish it.
That's what I wondered.
And,
So are we looking at new spots? Are we?
well, we.
What's the plan?
No, we have that other pit that we leased.
Correct.
That's why we should talk to them about it, because we only have 4 years on that.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
We have 4 years to get it
We're
out.
paying.
So I don't know if he's thinking of moving over there. And at the same time, we've got a time frame that on the permit in the current pit, that you have to get it done too.
Right.
So it's a balance,
It is.
you know, because the mining permit has an end date, which
Right.
he has to finish removing the sand and then remediate the surfaces with topsoil. And then the one we leased, we have a time frame both on the mining permit and the lease.
Right. And check on the dates when that lease is up on that. I don't remember.
We did it last year, right?
I think it was last year.
No, we did it 4 or 5 year. I'll leave it up
That
to you
sounds,
guys.
that sounds right.
I have it in my files.
And just a note to congratulate and thank the highway department for all their summer work, in terms of road, work, maintaining
Yeah.
all the brush and the trees and our parks and the cemeteries. Now as they transition to get ready for winter weather, Our hats off to them for all their work and for the work they will be doing as the snow is soon to come.
Yeah, and all the other little projects they help with, we keep you guys busy, so thank you.
And they're a small staff. A lot of people probably don't realize, but,
Yeah.
that highway department is not loaded by any means.
Agreed. Now you have the correspondence, you have the planning board minutes, and stop me if there's anything you wanna ask about from, both the August 7th meeting and the September 4th meeting. Then you've got the zoning board appeals minutes from the meeting of August 21st. Our monthly charter communications information in regards to channels. And then there's our August call report for the EMS. Let's see here. So, number of calls in Champlain were 75, 47 in Motors, 18 in Ross Point. So a total of 140 calls for the month. The total calls year to date are 1,068 with almost 16,000 miles of transport. And the overall average response time is 2.36 minutes, which is amazing. That's from the time they get dispatched till they're on the highway. We have a beautiful thank you here from Beatontown students who did the run for the North Country Honor Flight that we donated to. Isn't that cool? They all signed it. That's awesome. And yeah, this is the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency closeout administrative order docket. That was just for your information. And then we have we succeeded in renewing our pro-housing communities with homes of community renewal. So that's good news. That's a few points when we're applying for grants. Brings us to new business. Resolution number 40, adoption of local law number 4 of 2025, which is an amendment to chapter 76 for fire prevention and building construction. We're adding a new subsection 76-18 entitled Controlled Rapid Entry System for Emergency Services of the Code of the Town of Champlain. Whereas the Champlain Fire District provided detailed information regarding the use of controlled rapid entry systems known as NOx lockboxes in a formal request to the Town of Champlain. And whereas the Town of Champlain Town Board recognizes the necessity for this requirement in order to provide emergency services personnel the access they require to enter commercial buildings that are typically secured during non-business hours. And whereas the town board had previously initiated the adoption process for subsection 272-A of town law and introduced local law number 4 of 2025 on August 12th, 2025. And now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Champlain does hereby adopt local law number 4 of 2025, cited as an amendment to chapter 76 fire prevention and building construction, adopted by the town board of the town of Champlain by resolution on July 10th, 2007 to add subsection 76-18 entitled Controlled Rapid Entry System for Emergency Services. And be it further resolved that a roll call vote is carried to approve said resolution. Motion to approve by?
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution.
I'll second that.
Thank you. And roll call please, Julie?
Councilmember Southwick,
Aye.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Councilmember, Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. And now therefore be it further resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Thank you very much. And next is resolution 41. To authorize the town of Champlain Court to apply for funding from the Justice Assistant Program. Whereas the town court is requesting authorization from the town board to apply for funding from the Justice Court Assistance Program, JCAP, during the upcoming grant cycle. And whereas one requirement of the application is a resolution from the town board authorizing the town court, town of Champlain, to apply for this funding. And therefore be it resolved that the board of the town of Champlain authorizes the town of Champlain Town Court to apply for a JCAP grant in the 2025-2026 grant cycle up to $30,000. And now therefore be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Motion to approve said resolution as written by,
I'll make a motion.
thank you, second, by,
I'll second.
thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, carries. Thank you very much. Now, resolution 42, to appoint our assessor for taxes. Resolution number 42 of 2025, a resolution of the town board of the town of Champlain, Clinton County, New York, to appoint an assessor. Whereas the town board of the town of Champlain is responsible for appointing a qualified individual to serve as assessor. And whereas a vacancy exists or is upcoming in the position of assessor. And whereas Timothy Serpitsky has submitted an application for qualifications review, Form RP-3006 to the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance, Office of Real Property Tax Services, or PTS, and has been deemed qualified for the position. And whereas Timothy Serpitsky possesses the necessary qualifications and experience to fulfill the duties of assessor as prescribed by the New York State Real Property Tax Law. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Champlain hereby appoints Timothy Serpitsky to the position of assessor, and be it further resolved that said appointment shall be for a 6-year term, beginning on October 1st, 2025, and ending on September 30th, 2031. And be it further resolved that compensation for the assessor's services are in accordance with the contract with Clinton County Department of Real Property. And be it further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution shall be filed with the New York State Office of the Comptroller and the Clinton County Real Property Office. Now therefore be it further resolved this resolution shall take effect immediately. Motion to approve resolution 42 of 2025.
I'll make that motion to approve resolution number 42 of 2025.
Thank you. Thank you. Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 43 of 2025, to set a public hearing for local law number 5 of 2024 to override the tax levy limit established in general municipal law subsection 3C. Before I read this, I will let the public know this is standard. We're coming into budget time. We always manage to squeak under the tax cap. But just in case we go over, we have to have this in place. So this is in preparation of the necessity if needed. Whereas it is the intent of this local law to override the limit on the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by the town of Champlain pursuant to general municipal law subsection 3-C. And whereas this will allow the town of Champlain to adopt a budget for the fiscal year 2026 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit as defined by general municipal law subsection 3C. And whereas expressly authorizes the town board to override the tax cap by the adoption of a local law approved by a vote of 60% of the town board. And therefore be it resolved that a public hearing be held by this town board on October 14th, 2025 at 7:15 p.m. with respect to public comment on the matter of this local law number 5 entitled Local Law Filing Number 5, New York State Department of State. And now, therefore, be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized to direct to cause all required public notices of said hearing to be given as provided by law. Motion to approve resolution is read.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 43 of 2025 to set public hearing for local law number 5 as presented by the supervisor.
I'll
Thank you.
second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that brings us to our Jolly's Waterworks LOA. For approval, you all have a copy, correct?
What's that?
You all have a copy of Mike's LOA?
You sent it to us, but I don't believe it's in this pack,
No,
correct?
no, I don't think it was in the packet, because I emailed it to you.
Oh, correct. It was in the email.
I might have another one here, I'm not sure. Did you
I
have,
actually have a summary, but I don't have the actual.
I have copies. Anybody else see them? You pass that to Rick? You got yours?
Yeah, I
Okay.
had one, they had one, I don't know if we needed that
You
one.
do have one in that packet?
Yeah. I don't know why you didn't have one.
It's not a big
Maybe I
deal.
just got
It's not a
this.
big deal.
No
There we
big
go.
deal. Oh, it's no biggie.
But that's what I have in my summary, so.
Are you okay with this? Is there any revisions, additions, anything you require? As you know, we had requested this, so we had something in place when an event takes place where there's no time to, you know, consult, and that's what tends to happen. You know, so at least we have his hourly rate for the rest of the year.
My only question is in regards to materials and equipment that is up and above, how is that, is it over a certain dollar value where it's kind of provided to the town before the actual services are done? Or is it just,
I think it's gonna compare very similar to what this last invoice we're gonna talk about next, where
Okay.
the parts got put in.
right,
I think they're comparable to what we would pay if it was done through the village. Trying to find it now.
Do we have any additional information on this DBA? Like, does he submit a liability policy that he carries?
We can
Do
request
we
that.
usually have that for other folks that we sign on
Mhm.
to provide work for us?
Agreed,
Okay.
should be there. What is this one right here? So do we, in this, request a copy of that? Is that what you would say?
You know, when someone's submitting their application to do work for us, do we ask them for other information?
Yeah.
Like, do we keep like a complete portfolio on the company that's working for us?
but there must be a file that Sarah must have because of past work, I'm assuming, but I don't know. That's a question for Sarah.
I think they have to be registered in New York State now too.
They do.
So that needs to be on here as well.
Right.
So a
So
copy,
there must be like an identification number or something. Right.
He would have an EIN number, I would think.
Correct.
At least the minimum.
Yeah.
so what I'll do is I'll make a list of that. Send it back as a request that we would need those on file as part of this, that those will be provided to be on file, right? So basically a sentence that this and this will be provided on file. And then I'll just,
So,
if we cover those bases, I'm assuming you're okay for me to sign it. Or would
so
you like
because
to
this
get
only
back?
covers to the end of the year, what are the plans moving into 2026?
A renewal. Whether or not it's the same labor rate, I don't know.
So are we gonna do it quarterly? Quarter of a year
No.
at the time, or are we
We
going to
should
actually do it?
annually.
We're
I
gonna
would
do
think
it,
it would be a 12-month, but again, I don't, that's why I'm asking.
we're gonna do it annually, so that can be put in here as well.
Correct.
This agreement is not annual because we're starting so late. So I think what he's looking to do is annually on our fiscal
Or
year.
do you wanna do it annually and just extend the date from December 31st, 2025 to September 2nd, 2026?
That's what I
Make
would-
it annual,
Correct.
annual.
That makes sense.
If he's willing to.
And then approve
Sure.
it each September.
And
Yep, I agree.
prior to budget season.
Yep. Yeah, that way you've got numbers to work with.
Okay, then, as you can see, there is an A under this, which is discussion on this invoice on the work that was done on Route 9.
I don't have the invoice.
And that was sent to us again, and I don't have that either, In my- with my person. Cause I don't print out the entire agenda in PDF. Let's see, maybe it's
Pass
in.
it around?
I don't have it either.
Oh, you don't?
I don't
I emailed it to you.
No, I've seen what you sent, I just don't have, and I could pull it up on my phone. I'm just gonna take a picture and then I can kinda share it with the other folks.
You have a copy of the email that was just received. Because I didn't make extra copies, now those were emailed to you as well. And then what I'll do is I'll lay out
Oh, thank
the
you.
story.
And I'll just give you a copy over here.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Do you need that approved?
I should.
Yeah, so
I should
let's,
have it approved.
let's put it to the end of the,
Yep.
of the new business.
Yep.
Okay, so back to this. So let's try to unfold the story as it took place. And when you get a chance, just send that back to me, Rick.
Okay, correct, Jason has it. or
Yeah.
Jason
Oh, you're sharing it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I took a picture of it, so I have it on my phone.
Okay, go ahead, just share that one, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
So, as it took place, Stace, the owner, contacted Chris Matat to notify him that he wanted to put a new service line in and he was gonna start working on it soon. But there was a problem with the curb stop valve because the curb stop, which is the rod that goes in the ground, was leaning way over. It had been that way for some time. I believe it was caused from when they backfilled it, it got pushed over by a rock, but anyways, the highway department did not have time to get to it right away to dig it. So after about 2 weeks, the homeowner, obviously contacted Mike and asked for assistance in putting this supply line in. I believe Mike did contact Chris to find out when we were gonna dig it, and he was told that Alan hadn't had time yet, and he was in the middle of paving. So then, he did the work, and then we received the bill. So we didn't get a call asking if we wanted any of that repaired, we just got the bill. So that's one issue that we keep attending to. And we really need to be notified before the work is done instead of finding out, several weeks later. But what happened was, he felt that it should have been done during the project, therefore told the homeowner that he wasn't responsible for the billing and billed the town. And technically, the supply line itself from the curb stop to the house is the homeowner's responsibility to maintain and repair. But again, Mike sent us another email disagreeing with that because it should have been done during the project. So I did further research, and I had researched before the first decision. I did further research, and it was supposed to be put in. In other words, if you go look at the construction drawings, which the village of Champlain has, it does show that the supply lines on those 3 homes at that portion of Route 9 were intended to have new supply lines. I cannot determine why they weren't put in, but I can assure you that they were not paid for. So in other words, the town never expended project dollars because they were never put in for whatever reason. Whether it's somebody didn't want their lawn dug, I don't know the answers to this. I can't come up with a sound answer. Or if the contractor, being the shyster that he was, decided to cut corners and just attach to the old lines and keep moving, I'm not sure. But the fact of the matter is, those 3 did not get replaced. This one was the worst out of the 3 because it was galvanized piping. And like I said, technically, the project's closed, the funds were never expended. We have in our code that we are responsible for all lateral supply lines for the length of the term of the agreement. But I ran this for interpretation by both the engineers and Matt Favreau this evening, and they both, the 3 of us are on the same page. That code is intended for anything that the funding agency money, the project money spent to install. So if we put a supply line to a home anywhere in this district, which we did many of them, because many of them were new hookups, all of Route 11 were new hookups, then project funds paid for that supply line, therefore we're responsible to fix it if it breaks within that 30-year period. Since these did not get put in, they don't fall under that code. They don't fall under that criteria, according to Matt. He goes, you're right. But he also agrees with me that we could make the stretch that, since there's only a few of them, and we're not gonna set a precedent that would really hurt us, because there aren't many, there's probably no more than 3 others, according to the as-built and the construction drawings. It might be a nice thing for us to do that, well, we were supposed to put it in there, we would have spent the money, but we didn't, and now we can. But that's the decision that we all have to make here tonight. So it's whether or not we pay for the supply line work within that bill, because the other portions of the bill, the pressure reducer and the curb stop are definitely our cost. There's no doubt about that at all. The supply line's the only one that's in question. I might add, this particular homeowner does have a lot of a lot of buildings on our district, so there's a fair amount of EDUs being paid every year by them. And it comes down to principle and precedent.
So can you just detail for me, please, you're talking about the 52 foot of the 1 HDP service line, that's at 6552. What else is the town's financial responsibility?
Well, it would be the curb stop,
Okay.
pressure reducer, and all those fittings, because that all kind of ties everything together. You know what I mean? If we decided that, you know what, we'll take care of it
Okay,
and
So-
move on.
and what about the labor? What about the 4 hours at $75 an hour?
Yeah, we'd have to take care of that too. I mean, it's either pay the whole bill or say, no, we're responsible for the service line, and Mike would have to adjust the labor amount, which would probably be, I'm guessing, probably half of it.
So I have a question. So if this was to happen again, would a clerk of the works that would have been hired by the town made it so that this didn't happen? In other words, was this an oversight?
During the construction, you mean?
Yes.
It may have been, I don't know. I asked Celine, I called Celine, that was her building,
Right?
and she said she did not remember telling them not to do anything. She said, I just assumed everything was done. I don't know.
So, and that's why I'm saying,
So it
like
could've-
Sewer District 7, I hope we have like a clerk of the works that can kind of oversee these types of things, so that at least you have documentation.
Yeah, and, well.
What properties are
So,
done,
so
are
there,
not done?
so there, well, there, it is documented because the as-built drawings show that it wasn't put in. So it is documented. There was an inspector, but I remember there was a lot of issues going on. For one thing, the inspector was struggling with the contractor because the contractor was very, very difficult to deal with. So there's a lot of, it was a mess, okay, it was a cluster. But that inspector should have documented that at that time. Now, we would have to go to Bernier and Carr and ask for them to pull all those documents if we wanted to find that detail out. But
And what account would this come out of?
that would have come out of our water account. Which unfortunately, that's the difference here, is if it had been done in 2019/20, somewhere in that time frame, it would have came out of the project funding,
Right.
which would be paid
Before
for,
we exhausted the funds, right.
yep,
Yep, I do.
which would be paid for through the EDUs. Now it has to come out of, that project's closed, those funds are gone.
Correct.
It's closed out, it's done, so now it has to come out of our water account, and that's the issue. That's the heartburn, I should say, because the water account doesn't, I mean, it has enough to pay that bill, but.
So the only
Or to the
line
company.
item on this bill really that's in question is, are we gonna pay for the service line and the labor that it took to put the service line in? All the rest of it would have to have been paid for anyway.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
And possibly there are 3 more, did you say? Or 3 total, or 6 total?
Well, when I worked with Anthony today, we were looking at the bid drawings, that's all he had. We have sent an email to Bernier and Carr asking for our own set of construction drawings, because the village has a set, but we don't. So I want a set on file for Chris.
Mhm.
So that's kind of separate, but based on the bid drawings, which are fairly accurate, but not as accurate as the construction drawings. All he could find was the next 2 houses in 2 possible other locations in the village, so it's possible it could be 4. But the only place this could happen is someplace where either somebody already had water tapped into the village, which one would be like at the middle of South Street before they put the new line in, so that those people got re-hooked up to the new one. And another example would have been Bob Guerin's property where the old car dealership in Route 11. What happened in that case is the contract, they had a well which is in the front of the property. So if there was a well in the front of the property, it was kind of common practice that they just disconnected the pipe from the well. If the pipe was adequate, which I guess this one was at Guerin's property, it was a PVC pipe, a plastic, water pipe, so they tied into it. Well, luckily before the project was closed, I remember, when you guys were here, but around 21, they were trying to tie up all the loose ends and fix all the longs, and, they were spending the rest of that project money trying to clean up what the contractor left behind. That line started leaking, so the town dug it up, and we paid, I forget who the contractor was. I don't remember if it was, it must have been, I think it was Jolly's Waterworks, to run a new line into the building and connect it. And that was paid for with project funds though, because it was still open and available. But that's the only one that I'm aware of that we ever did. That was before I was here, but I mean, that I know of. And
So are these others, are they going to be done in this calendar year? What is the
They may not.
plan?
if they don't need to be done, they won't be done. Chris said one of those homes he knows has PEX coming into the house, so there was no reason to replace it. They must have replaced their service line prior to the project. It's got an adequate service line. The other one he would have to go in to inspect, because he couldn't remember, but he thought that one was copper. So this may be the only one that had such an old iron line, galvanized iron.
This was not damaged, although the actual line was not damaged, it was the curb stop that was damaged.
Correct, but the line needed replaced because it was old, rusty,
Okay.
Failing. It wasn't,
Or soon to fail.
or soon to fail. Correct. So, I don't know,
Yes, tell us what you're what are you recommending?
I'm recommending we pay this bill, and I know it could set precedent, but we don't have a ton of them that we would have to do, and the rest of them we're responsible for regardless, because they were done under EFC funds. So for the next 30 years, all those other service lines, if anything happens to any of them that were installed under the project, we, by code, we are responsible. As I said before, this one was an exception because it wasn't done, but because of the construction drawings that Mike provided, we've got the pictures of them showing that it was supposed to be done, and now we really can't determine why it wasn't. I'm getting several different stories. I'm recommending we pay it in good faith, because now the homeowner expects that, because that's what he was told. And I did run that scenario by Matt, and he told me to tell you he agrees with that. It's probably the best thing to do.
What's our liability once we pay the bill? Are we then now responsible for 30 years on the service line?
No, because it wasn't done with project funds. So no, that's true. This would have to be, I don't know if we can make that note on the payment and put it in files, so the town knows that for the future.
It's like a one and done?
This is a one and done, because it's not done with EFC funding.
That definitely needs to be done. If we in fact go ahead and pay this.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the best way to talk about that is. That's a good point, thank you.
Mark, I think, is there a way to put it in, last year, you worked on a lot of policy in regards to the water. Is there a place in there that we can put this notation? I don't know where else to put it. Because that's where all the charges are, correct? And they're all itemized, so it would be right in that same location. If there's anything in regards to a curb stop, putting a service line, any of this.
So not put in code, but just write like an addendum that's
Correct,
attached.
as an addendum and attachment.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense to me.
That, notate it on the invoice, so when Sarah files that in the folder.
And when you send this to
I was
the
gonna say,
parcel holder, yep.
yeah, when we send it to the person
Mhm.
and let them know that we have in fact approved this, he needs to know the particulars on why we did it. And then in future, the person, I would like to hear about this before the work is done.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
I
have to. It's too hard to deal with this way. If we'd have been informed, we could have had discussions and figured it out before we even
Yes.
did the work.
And if you can't reach one person, there's 5 of us to reach
Because
somewhere.
seriously, when it first started, the homeowner was planning on doing it on his own,
Correct.
until he was told he didn't have to. That's a whole other story.
Well, and honestly, I think the first contact person should be Chris.
Yes, you're right.
It shouldn't just be anybody,
Yes.
because now he understands what's itemized, what's supposed to be done. That's why I really thought the shared document, and I know it creates that one more piece that the village has to do and the town, but that shared spreadsheet that we talked about would make it just so much easier to see each and every one of these things. And then you have a reference for the future.
Well, we can't seem to.
I know, I get that,
We
I
can't
get
see
that,
it.
and that's okay.
We try.
That's
We keep-
okay.
And we keep trying.
Yep. So.
Like, I'm hoping that he took pictures and, I'm
So
assuming he did.
So do you need a motion to actually pay this invoice?
Yes, and,
Okay.
and actually, in that motion, I think if we wanna pay it this month, we need to add that it's going to be, it's gonna show up in the abstract next month, cause Sarah said she can pay it, and it'll get documented in the abstract instead of the, cause we wait till monthly bills, we can't approve it until next month. So if we approve it for payment now, we'll find it in the abstract, the October abstract.
So do you wanna make the motion?
Yeah,
Okay.
I make a
I'll let
motion,
you make the motion, and then we'll just follow.
I make a motion that we pay, I don't have the invoice in front of me.
2505.
Invoice 2505 from Jolly's Waterworks in the amount of $731.14. And that this payment will be made now outside of our monthly billing, but will be included in the abstract in next month's.
Can we include the address of where this was done on State Route 9?
Yeah.
11033 State Route 9.
We have that. Yes, here it is. Yes, and this work was done on the service line for the property at 11033 State Route 9, Champlain, New York. And because this was, I just wanna add this to the minutes, so this will be part of the resolution of the motion, but I think in the minutes, Julie, we should add that this is considered a one-time replacement on this service line. The service line does not fall under the purview of the EFC requirements. It's documented there at least. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, and could you do a roll call, please, Julie?
Councilmember Southwick,
Aye.
Councilmember Cory,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter, Supervisor Tremblay.
Aye. Thank you very much. Motion carries. On to the next thing. Okay, next is the proposal for justice courtroom security. So, I mean, there's a couple of things we need to consider here. Have you read it, and do you have an opinion on it, for one? I've spoke to both of our justices, and then I've contacted 3 different towns, and you've got 2 out of the 3. Beamantown has not replied yet, in regards to what they're paying and why they're doing it. They do have metal detectors, so once you get a metal detector in place, you have to hire law enforcement to monitor that device. Both of those courts have that.
Already.
Yeah. So if we wanted to consider safety here, and you consider budgeting funds until we figure out the weeds of this thing, because we're coming into budget time, you know, I'm sure Kevin would be happy to, in his grant application, if he hasn't got something else already in mind, probably go for a metal detector, so they can screen people coming in. I've asked county legislator, Calvin Castine, to bring this up at his safety committee meeting, which I think he'll be doing tomorrow night, if I'm correct. I believe it's tomorrow. To see if they would consider doing this countywide, because that's what the DA's office is asking. He's asking that all of the towns within the county consider having security due to the event that took place in the town of Shazy. Kevin agrees it should be done, and Mike and Phillips said it would be a good thing. He doesn't feel, he hasn't had a time where he's felt it's absolutely necessary, but based on what took place, he said, yeah, it wouldn't hurt. We would probably have to budget about $10,000 based on the hours of our courts, which is almost in line with the others are paying. So we can, I didn't want to, I put this on new business for discussion. We don't have to act on it tonight, we can table it and push it over to old business, so we keep coming back to it.
Get some more information,
Yeah.
talk to.
We gotta find out what the safety, how the safety committee feels about it with the county. I think that we could even go a step further. I could write to Andrew Wiley and ask him if he could send a letter of request to the courts, to the, is it USD, is that it? OSC, I can't remember now.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
OSC, I think, right?
Yeah.
To see if they would consider contributing.
And I'd recommend reaching out to those 3 towns, Plattsburgh, Beacontown, and Clinton, and actually gather information in regards to what their technology is that they purchased.
You mean for the metal detector?
Metal detectors and those things.
Yeah. Kevin could probably do that.
Yeah. Because I think if you can stop it before it comes into the court.
So it sounds like we're all on the same page, something needs to be done, we're just not sure how we're gonna pay for it, or if, right?
Right. So,
Well, I think you had a good idea about asking Justice Triller to see what he can do about, grant money towards it.
Well, the grant money can't cover the officers, it can only cover the
It can cover the
Technology.
equipment.
Yes, it can cover the equipment, but if we put the equipment in, then we're locking ourselves into doing this.
Mhm.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Right.
And that's why it hasn't been done yet, but it probably should be.
well, I've never attended a particular criminal calendar court date situation. I don't know on average how many people are inside of that room. But you're probably talking at least 7 or 8, and maybe more.
On average, I would say, yeah.
So, I mean, just for risk purposes, I think we should move in this direction to kind of protect not only our justices, but anybody else that's in that.
But yeah, that's, the public that's in there is
That's the big,
that's a big liability.
yes, it is.
And that's another portion of this that would actually help, you know, it's an investment, but it would protect us for that liability. It would help assist in protecting us.
It doesn't remove, the risk in regards to a person and what they could do. But, you know, somebody from the sheriff's department does definitely provide that other aspect of safety in that environment too, so.
Okay, so we'll table this for further research, and please add it to old business, please.
So you said you spoke with Calvin?
Yes,
And he's gonna bring it up.
yes.
That's part of the safety.
I provided the letter from the district attorney and information regarding the other towns, and he's supposed to have a discussion, because my request to him was, if it's countywide, can the county get involved and help with the cost?
Because this looks like these are all basically independent contracts with the county for each of the townships to ensure
Yep.
that their safety needs are being met or whatever they need. But if it was countywide, then it could at least, yeah, the cost would be split, or they would come up with some kind of, you know, whatever the bill is, that will the county that's just factored into it, right?
And from a scheduling perspective, I would imagine that the sheriff's department finds it manageable right now with only 3 municipalities. But what happens if you get every municipality to go on board? What nights is this done? And is this gonna be manageable? Where are we now?
Yeah, and as you probably read, if you read.
That's why I think the metal detector.
If you read, it was Town of Plattsburgh, it said that they're always on overtime when they're there. They've never paid straight time, so when you look at the contract, just plan on the overtime rate. Which was what, 50 something, I think. So I'll try to gather more information, and then we'll take that one. I'm not trying to kick the can, but we're not ready to make a decision, I think that's.
Yeah.
Okay, next is approval of the Champlain EMS agreement. You've all had a copy of that. I did request, this is per Councilmember Southwick's comment, that we have not received our biannual reports. You agree? I haven't seen them. So I called Corey, and he was supposed to have them sent over. I haven't received them yet. We did make the corrections
The dates.
to the dates. Have you got new copies in front of you? I thought did I bring all of them here maybe?
No,
No,
we didn't.
Then they're all right here.
and the change in the 410 to 437,500.
Yeah, no, I've got the new copy. I didn't make additionals. So it was on page 2, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It now, compensation, paragraph A, what is that, the 4th sentence, the district shall raise $437,500 from taxes. And the dates were incorrect on the term, they now read first day of January 2026 shall continue through the 31st day of December 2026. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So those corrections were made. I have not received the biannual reports yet.
Can you share that with us, just to take a peek at that first thing?
The only changes that were made were on that page 2, under term and compensation.
Here, let me see. Thank you.
And as we're entering the budget season, we have to keep our fingers crossed that the governor signs into law the bill that was approved by the Senate, which would take this out of the tax cap.
Isn't that nice?
Pardon me?
I said, isn't that nice?
It
I saw
is.
that in the Association of Towns, and I said,
It is, except we have to hope that if it doesn't happen this year, then we won't have any adjustment until next year. So we're hoping by, between now and November 1st, she gets it off her desk.
no changes on these schedule of fees in appendix A either?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
He's laughing at my tabs.
She's ready to go. Looks like you went to law school.
No,
So are these questions or the
no,
revisions
this is for
you're
the next
That's
round,
all
the
Max
next
books.
thing.
Oh, okay. All right, then let's move on to this one. Do we wish to approve this tonight?
No.
Okay.
Do we need to? What's the deadline? What's,
You know what? I wasn't given a deadline. Since this is,
cause this is for 2026.
Well,
I don't know why we need to rush.
We wanted
And
to
we-
see the,
I think we normally have approved it before in October, if I remember correctly.
but if you wanna see the
We're preparing
accounting
for
of
the
funds,
budget.
We gotta prepare for the budget, yeah. I mean, so in other words, we're gonna set budget meetings tonight, probably for the end of this month, our first one.
and if we get the accounting of funds, we can look at that and then go over it after.
You can, but it's never negotiable.
That's true.
So I don't know if it does any good.
No, but I think it kind of justifies what their proposed amount is. It's just, I know, it's transparency.
All right, so we'll table this until the October meeting, put that in old business as well, please. Other than the biannual financials, is there anything else you need me to get?
I don't think we're at a point where we need to have Corey or anybody come and address the board, but I know he did last year. Remember, when we questioned the large increase?
Yeah, but this one isn't respectable, it's not terrible. Where's that summary? There it is right here. So, the difference from 25 to 26 for the town of Champlain is 27.5, okay? And that would have been 35,000. And the difference for the town of Morris is 3,700. And that would have been, well, essentially what they did was they shaved $15,000 off from it just before they sent it to us. That's why I've got this information.
Can I see that copy?
Yep, so they divided it by taking 7,500 off from ours, which dropped us down to 27,500. They took 3,700 off Moore's, dropped them down to 17,500, and they took 3,750 off the Village of Ross Point, bringing them down to 12,000 even. So they reshaved just before they finalized and sent to us.
Now, was this in our packet? It was not, was it? Okay, I didn't think so. I was
No, it was in the email.
correct.
There was 2 attachments, but no, it wasn't in the packet.
Yeah, I didn't see that attachment.
Yeah, we didn't see this.
I just copied this one,
Correct.
and I didn't see that one.
It was in the email. when he sent it to me, I forwarded it off to all of you with both attachments. You want me to just go make copies of it?
No, if they're comfortable with them just in their electronic,
Well,
I just
I
wanted
can
to
pass it
be
over
able
to them, they can.
kind of
they can
pull
both
it
look
out.
at it.
Thank you.
So, that's why I say I don't think that it's gonna make a whole lot of difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, this is what Dora's talking about. This is what the itemization, cause you're up almost $135,000.
You're talking about the total contract,
Correct.
but not,
From 25 into 36, if you look at that last page. $134,280.
Yeah, and part of the contract, I don't recall exactly where it is, but it also says that, you know, if they collect funds that supersede their needs from all of the communities, then there's a reimbursement to us. They're billing when they bill for their services, the ambulances. But we've never seen what their income is from that, and what their income is from us, and if there's, do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, but the billing is separate from this. So I thought the billing, if they were to have an excess of collections, that would go into savings for, cause that's used for the ambulances and the equipment and the supplies and the building, et cetera.
Yes, it says, should the amount of billing revenue collected during the contract year exceed a certain amount, the excess billing revenue shall be remitted to the district. Is that us? The two, is that,
I don't
The
think so.
village and us?
That's
I
not
don't think
us,
that's
that's
us.
the district, the EMS district. So I say, I think it goes into.
So to each of the
savings.
departments is what I'm,
Yeah, it goes into
That's
savings
what I'm
for
thinking.
that.
is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's how it.
But I have not looked at each of those operating expense categories, so before I
Well,
approve it,
let's
I'd
go
like to
back.
really,
let's go back to the top where it says between the town of Champlain, principal place of business as State Route Champlain, New York, 12919, hereby district. That's us. The town. And the Champlain EMS, which is referred to as hereafter CEMS.
and I don't ever recall there ever being
Yeah, true.
a reimbursement to the town.
Never.
No,
Ever.
never, no,
But we've
never.
never seen a printout of billings and revenues.
So are we to assume that,
Just
The
you get a
EMS?
total amount here, but were you looking for like a monthly breakdown or like a,
no, just overall?
according to this,
Is that billing revenue?
that's what it says.
What is that?
That's the one they're bringing in from municipalities.
Is this what they actually got, or is this what they're budgeting?
This is their projection.
It's a projection.
So what do they have for the revenue? What do they project for 26?
750,000.
Okay.
And if you notice on page 2, Dorothea, where it says the district should raise 437,
That's right,
so they're talking
They're
as
talking-
the town
they're talking as
being the district.
that's right,
Yeah.
yes, you're right,
You-
that's your next sentence
Do they
says.
refer the same for the town of Lawrence? The district is very hard to understand because it was formed,
This doesn't include Morris, this is just the
This
town
was
of
our
Champlain,
contract,
this
yeah.
is just ours.
that's true. That's true, it's not another document, I'm trying to find another document so I can keep up here.
This is very similarly worded to contracts that we have with insurance companies and providers have.
Mhm.
So that if the insurance company collects a higher premium than what they're allowed to pay for their expenses, that those premiums should be given back either to the provider of service or to the payer of the premium. Of course, we never see what the big companies have for their income,
True.
but occasionally we'll get a check back. So that's why I was asking that question. Because these are just projections, these aren't the actual.
Well, you want me to ask that question?
Well, you're gonna be getting it, you'll be getting it when they give you the counting of funds, so,
I should be,
yeah. So
but do you
it's
want me to
already in.
ask why we've never seen that happen? My guess is, he's gonna say, we'll get it when we get the
Yeah,
reports.
let's look at the report
And ask
first.
them why there's never been any excess in revenue where the district has never received any
Probably because the collections.
well, let them tell us that.
Okay.
But I think that's what you're gonna find. I think you've got people that actually receive services, they can't pay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so it goes into the
I'm
pool,
sure.
and it's like insurance. It is insurance over and over. It's-
Okay.
Because I'm trying to think what I paid out of pocket, right? Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't pay.
Okay. We ready to move on? We'll table that, I'll get more information. We will, hopefully have more information at our first budget meeting, and then we'll have that to discuss at the October meeting. Does that sound reasonable? Okay. So let's move on to discussion for water to Champlain Fire District. So, as, I think I talked to a couple of you at the EMS, at the Champlain ribbon cutting, Fire District ribbon cutting the other day. So, they're switching over, and apparently Julie says we've already got the account handed over to us. Was there any charges to that 6,000 gallons?
No, that's all I got on there, 6,000. And then they'll get charged the service charges, $27.50 like everybody else.
Yeah, but what I mean is, did the village show charges to us for that water?
Yeah, there was a letter the village sent.
Oh, really?
You don't get it?
Yeah, please. Yeah, please, I didn't know that. Because when I spoke to the mayor this week, our plan was, and we brought Mary into the meeting to make sure this could work. What's always taken place, and I intend to put this in the form of a contract, like an, I guess we call it an IMA, an agreement between the fire district, the village, and the town, if we're gonna continue this. 'Cause what's been taking place since that fire, since the beginning of time, what's most importantly is since the Champlain fire district was formed in what, 2001 or two, somewhere in that area? I've got the dates, but not with me. They've always gotten free water. They haven't been charged for water. Before that, it was a village fire department, again, never got charged for water. So I wanna do a document stating that, hence, we've both, since we've been in a consolidated water district with the village, essentially, we've both
This is-
been providing free water.
It wasn't much of anything.
Fire department.
It was only, that come from the village. That was with the report. But that's the only thing that I got.
Okay, I'll have to see it for
This is,
further.
what, $25?
Yeah, but it doesn't talk about a period of time that this covers. So it's
And that's
4,000 gallons
It's 4,000?
at the $6.45 K-gallon.
Yeah, I'll need that, because we weren't supposed to be billed for it. You sure that's not still under the contractor? Because they were supposed to be closing out. So I think that bill goes to the contractor, because they were supposed to be doing that this week, taking a final reading.
Well, they sent it to us,
I know. August 21st. I think that's for the contractor, because this is still August 21st, when they billed. And we've been billing the contractor for these billings, correct?
I haven't billed the contractor anything.
I
don't know
think-
if Sarah
I think
has.
Sarah has.
I
So let me
haven't.
deal with this, okay, can I do this till tomorrow?
Yeah,
I'm thinking that's what that is, cause as of, when did I meet? I can't remember if it was last Friday or if it was Monday, I think it was last Friday. They're gonna do a final reading and then switch over and start sending you the readings for the fire district. I think this is still the contractor,
okay.
okay?
I can tell you that on the EDU letter that you all have, that when the EDU assessment committee met, we determined that the new fire station has the 2 showers, the 4 baths, the 1 decontamination room, as well as a wash bay. And so we had set that EDU currently at 2.5. So, all right.
Okay, so let me confirm this tomorrow, that was the contractor's billing, if we would then bill them our rate. So anyways, moving forward, the village, was in agreement that, and Mary said she could set it up easily, so when the readings are taken at the fire station, total usage, that'll be supplied to us and also to the water board, because it'll all be unpaid water, right?
Correct.
And it'll also help in regards to the undocumented water for loss, in regards to filling trucks. But it'll have a zero charge, they won't charge us any K-gallon amount for that water. And hence, that's the document I wanna write, that in turn, we will not charge the fire department for the water. In regards to service charges, they have been paying, the village's service charge for commercial users is a minimum of $62.50 per quarter. I think we have no choice but to do the 25, right? $27.50, because it's all of our users.
Right.
So, I'm recommending that we charge them the quarterly service fee only, and not for the water, and I get a agreement drawn up for all 3 of us to have on file, so future boards don't change it. Cause there's never been anything in writing. Like the village has just carried this on, cause they've always done it, and that's wonderful. And now you've got 2 entities working together, and you get a new board here and a new board there, and anything could change in the next 30 years, right? And probably put like a 30-year term on it, have it renewed in 30 years. Does that make sense? That's my recommendation, that I'll draw up a document explaining how long that we've been doing it to begin with, and now that it's switching over to a new town district, we are going to continue this, and this is how it's gonna continue. And I would put in there that we're going to charge the
Quarterly service.
same quarterly service fee as everybody else. I mean, I'll word it differently than that, but the standard service fee as defined by the town. Cause that could change. That should change.
That will change.
Yeah,
It must.
it must change.
It's a 30-year debt. Can't stay the
The
same.
service fee should really, needs to be adjusted annually.
Yeah. And we've never
So that's all.
adjusted those.
So you guys agree with that? I mean, it's all the same taxpayers as the water users, and we've been doing it for so many years, I see no reason to burden them with a new water charge. We're already burdening them with an EDU charge, that's bad enough, and we have no choice there. You agree?
Yeah. I agree. Where does it fall under? Where does the water that's not being charged, does it fall under water that's just lost? And it becomes part of our,
Well, if you look at the water board report, you'll see a spreadsheet that we created. And in that spreadsheet, it will show the lost water, the unaccountable and the accountable. This will fall under accountable because we'll have it documented. And it's also gonna fall under, I forget if it was unpaid or non-revenue. It's a water loss
I
that
remember.
you treated the water, but you didn't charge for it. And there's a category in that spreadsheet for that.
But all the other users in Water District 6 end up paying for it. Has to be paid by somebody.
And the village,
That's what I'm saying.
and the village.
So Water Districts, everybody
Yeah.
bears the burden. That's why one of the things we did that was very important is when you set the policy for the use of the hydrants. You know, to stop those people from just taking.
Mhm. So what I did ask, when we toured, I don't know if you were still with me, I think, when we toured and found the meter. So the filling station, there's one main meter for the water coming into the building. The filling station inside the bays, which is where they'll do most of their tank filling, will be metered to that primary meter. But the hydrant out back was put in for that, just for that purpose, to fill trucks, especially during an emergency.
Right.
And there's no meter on it, so I requested that we get a meter on it, and we're gonna have to figure out who's buying it,
So the meter's gonna go inside of the new departments so that they can track also? Or is it
Well,
gonna
that's
be
it.
just
That's-
at the village?
No, it's a regular
Okay.
commercial water meter, just
Okay.
like what's gonna be at the border station,
Alright.
the border patrol, it's inside that building.
Is there a way that they can track water that's used for training versus water that's used for emergency?
Oh, wow. That'd be an ask on the fire department.
Well, I mean, you must have a meter on your vehicles, right? For the amount of water that you have in the vehicle.
Well, no,
so you don't
they know what it holds, I don't think it has a meter of,
There's no way to tell?
no, that's why you need a meter on that hydrant when you fill it.
Yeah.
So if, I mean, you could guess and say, well, it's a 1,500-gallon tanker, therefore it's 1,500 gallons, but it'd be best if they kept a log of that hydrant, so we know how much was used during that quarter. But for them to tell you what the difference between firefighting and training, I think that's a stretch.
Can we ask them to report it to the water board on a monthly basis, just to kind of get an idea, or do you think that's too much?
I don't know, let's ask the water board that question, because I think it gets reported to the village office. I think Mary's the one that computes all that data. I think it goes to her first. And I don't know, I think it typically goes to her after every major fire. I don't know about the tank filling. I think this might be a notch up if we start keeping track of the tank filling. Cause right now when they fill at the other station, there's no meter on it at all. So the meter readings that they've been getting from that station are just on the kitchen and the bathroom. So it's very little, it's next to nothing.
Yeah, and the kitchen's not operational yet.
Yeah, it's next,
Just very.
it's next to nothing.
Okay.
So if you guys agree with that, I'll keep moving forward.
I mean,
Okay.
turn it up.
And we need to determine how we're going to monitor the water out of the hydrant in the back of the building.
Yeah, I'll have to work with Chris and JP to make sure we come up with who's gonna buy a meter and so on.
Who paid for the meter that went in the building?
Well, that's us.
Right, and I think the fire department should pay for this only because they're not being charged for the water.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
That's my own.
That's a good trade.
I'm thinking, I'm on the same page, okay? That's where I was headed with it. I think that they should get that meter so they can properly document, give us a log, give Mary and the water board a log periodically.
Can that be the condition of this contract? That we want these accurate records and we want this meter and that's,
Yep.
we'll give you this, but we want this in return?
I can put it in there. Yep. Okay. All right, so then the next is the IMA for Rouse's Point.
And then we're gonna do budget meetings. Unless you wanna do the IMA first.
Oh, I jumped over it? Yeah, let's do that. You're right. I'm sorry, the bifocals aren't working good then. I just wanna make a note here. Okay. Set dates for the budget meetings. Do you wanna do all three of them? You wanna do one? And set the next two at, it may be good to go at least two of them out, right? So like I said, last year's meeting, our first initial meeting was September 30th. This year, September 30th lands on a Tuesday and I have nothing there. I think Rick's schedule is gonna be the, I asked Sarah today, she said, just don't do Mondays.
She
She's on the same soccer field as you know.
is.
Thanks for catching that, Julie. Trying to get done. Is it 30th work for you guys?
I'm good after regular work hours now. I won't be here the 9th through the 13th of October, just to say.
Okay. And last year we did the second meeting on the 10th of October.
If good, I can make the 30th work.
Okay. Down to Rick.
for tomorrow.
Hopefully, knowing your schedule.
Or what do you got for dates?
Well, right now we're shooting for the first meeting on the 30th of September. And
Okay, I wouldn't be able to be here till late, because I have an away soccer game on the 30th.
Wow, looks late.
Well, this game is at 4:30, and it's usually, I wouldn't be back here, yeah, till 6:30.
So that pushes us out.
I have
I think,
games,
I think I could do the first, but after that, we gotta go, get into the next week or the week after.
the
Man,
1st of
push too
October
far.
works for me.
Mhm.
I don't have anything on the 1st.
I am going to a conference in Schoon Lake that day, but I believe it gets done at 2 p.m. So I could be back here by 5,
Well,
7.
I won't be back till probably 6, but
You could
I'll
do
be there
6.
for 6, yeah.
So we could shoot for 6.
Because I have practices, if I don't have games, I have practices at all.
So 6 p.m. October 1st?
That works for me.
Okay, do we wanna try doing a second one? I don't know how far you can go out with your schedule, Steve.
I have my schedule, so go ahead and give me what you got, and I can,
Dora, you said you're gone until the 14th?
9th through, I'll be back on the 14th. Well, I'll be back on the 13th. I'll be here for the meetings.
14th's a board meeting, so.
That's right.
So, I would have to do 15th or 17th.
and again, I could do it, I could probably do on the 15th I have a game, but it's usually 2 35-minute halves and about a 15 in between, so I might be able to do 6-ish, 6:15-ish at the latest, but even if I get here a little late on the 15th, so.
Yeah, on the second meeting, we can kind of start going over what we did in the first, if you missed a few minutes. So go 6 o'clock on the 15th.
So what was the time on the 1st?
6.
6. We wanna hold off on that last one, find out where we're at, and set it then, or do we wanna set one?
Or maybe even after the first date. What's with that?
Yeah, cause it typically, needs to be done before the end of the month, or
Right.
the end of October, so.
Right.
Last year we did it on the 22nd, we did the second meeting on the 10th, last meeting on the 22nd.
When's our meeting, our town meetings, or is that on the 22nd of October?
Yeah, I just had that, didn't I? Yeah, I thought it was 27th, I think.
27th, September, you're talking October, right? 27th is a Monday, I don't have that
The
down.
11th, the 24th, and then something in October, and I don't have the October program.
It was the 22nd.
I got the 22nd.
Yeah,
correct,
it is 22nd.
6:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it is 22nd. Okay, so you can't do two things at one time.
No,
Oh,
So,
come on.
well, you could, but
so, would it be safe on the 28th? Tentatively, we'll put that one tentative, 28th?
Okay.
Is that something you could do on the 28th?
don't know.
Too far
Cause
out?
that, yeah, you're in playoff time.
I'll say, so we'll just call it tentative. And we'll talk about it, we'll talk about it again on that first meeting.
Okay.
If you sharpen your pencil before you get here, then maybe you won't be here anymore.
Maybe
More,
only two
more the
meetings.
questions we have.
Yeah, mostly that. Okay. So the 1st, 15th, and 28th, 1, 2, and 3. IMA with Rouse's Point. And you guys, I left you copies. You were emailed the original, I can tell you what's happened here. So, from the document that you were emailed, we have pulled the O and M out of it, because we have not come to an agreement on the O and M with the Public Works Superintendent. The village was good with what we had written. He has reservations on whether or not they have the manpower to take care of us, so this is due like the first week of October, so I put a deadline of, we have to have this finalized for the end of September. This has to get the EFC,
Right, because there's.
it's a requirement.
Yeah.
So, in the meeting, so I met with the mayor and Chris and Adam and Dan from Rouse's Point, and we had Barton LaJudas on. We had 5 engineers on Zoom. When we were having all these questions on the maintenance of this system, which is scaring Adam because it's, possibly 100 little grinder pumps, and he has enough trouble with 3 lift stations that he's scared to death. So what we determined we would do is pull the O and M out of this, because it's not a requirement to have that built into it to go to the funding agency.
Where is that in here?
You didn't get, it should have been in there. I don't remember, I haven't got that copy in front of me. Don't you have just the original?
I just
No,
have the agreement.
You have what I just gave you, is that it?
No, this is.
Yes.
Yeah, I just gave you one with those changes, so it's been pulled out of there.
I guess I wondered, where was it in here?
I'd have to go pull it up on my computer to tell you that, but I wanna say it was probably section, we're up to section 12. I
Oh,
think.
section 7, debt service, sewer fees, operation, maintenance, and administration?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
It was right in that section then.
So
okay.
you remove the O and M, which is red,
No, the red is what I added today.
okay?
Because the village has a meeting tomorrow night, so I needed to get that done today. So we each had the same document to approve. Now, we're not doing a final approval, each board has to approve this to move to the next step, which is to council for approval and changes.
Okay.
And or, most likely there'll be additions. What I added today is in red here under sewer fee, and I changed the format a little bit, so. And so the cost of sewer to be paid to the village by the town shall be $7.70 per 1,000 gallons based on the actual metered wastewater discharge into the village collection system. I wanna point out the $7.70 was based on them receiving at least 750,000 gallons monthly. We're projecting no more than 50,000 daily. The engineers are thinking it's gonna, when we get started, it's probably gonna be just about 40,000 daily, so we're gonna be over 1 million gallons, so we could see a decrease in that cost. So, that detail's not in here, I don't know if we wanna add it as an addendum at some point, but, I only have it in an email. Chris pointed it out again today. If for some reason it was less than, I think 600,000 gallons monthly, it would increase to about $8 per kgal. So I thought that that was already in here, I thought that this section covers it because it says the rates shall be reviewed on an annual basis by village and town boards and allow for upward or downward adjustments. So if we start giving them more than what they quoted here, this current board is willing to reduce it. Okay? I added the increase in rates, the increases in rates imposed by the village to the town will not be greater than the % increases imposed on any other outside user of the village. Therefore, all their outside users, because they do adjust annually, the village does do that. So if there's a 0.2% increase on overall, they couldn't do a 10% on us. That's what that statement means. It's similar to what we have in our IMA with the Village of Champlain, but not the same. That one just says they can't charge us double. And then I added, the district's sewer fee shall be billed monthly by the village to the town, because the village of Rouse's Point bills monthly. Our sense said changing it to quarterly would be a nightmare. So, we agreed with this. The town will pay the village quarterly in the months of January, April, July, and October, and payment to the village treasurer clerk within 45 days of the rendering of the last monthly billing. So we'll get billed monthly, but we'll pay quarterly, and they were fine with that. And then that's the only changes I made today. And then what we'll do with the O&M is, once we come to an agreement, if we can't, we'll have further discussions on how we're gonna maintain it, but, our plan is, I've asked the engineers to give me 2 more towns. I have a town approved that has a system like this, so I have a contact there. I need 2 more towns to reference, to call and try to set up a meeting, and get a meeting with Adam and Dan, and a Zoom meeting with these 3 towns to discuss, well, how bad is this? Because it's really gloom and doom that day. And hopefully give them a different comfort level. Well, we've also asked the engineers to set up a meeting and a tour at the facility north of Albany where the E1 pumps are made. So in other words, the company is E1. So E1 can give Adam and Dan a better understanding of how to deal with these pumps and what kind of problems routinely would you see. Because I agree with him. His statement was, yeah, it's gonna run great for a year or two, and then everything's gonna go to hell, and then we're gonna do stuff. We'll figure it out. The only other alternative is that we put an employee on to take care of it. But what I proposed was that we're paying them their standard rate plus benefits, and then paying equipment per an equipment rate, and having that all in the O&M. So if we come to that agreement, we get back there, and we actually build that, we'll have to do an addendum to this. Or a separate agreement. It doesn't have to live in one, but to satisfy the requirement, it got pulled out. So if everybody is in approval of what's here so far, the next step is, after board approval, to send it to the attorneys. Let them review it. I'll wait until after tomorrow night's meeting, make sure their board was good with it. And we'll both send it to our respective attorneys, have them review, make changes, and get it back to us. We're probably gonna have to have a special meeting. Rouse's Point has 2 meetings a month, we don't. Probably gonna need a special meeting to approve this before the end of the month. Will it be too much to ask to do it that same day of the budget meeting?
I was gonna say, you're moving a little slim on dates.
Yeah, if you only give an hour to the budget,
Or 15 minutes to this?
or and still avoid a 4th budget meeting. So Barton and Judas prepared this?
Yeah, he gave me a rough draft and I did a fair amount of work on it. But yeah, Anthony threw the first draft at us. taken from a couple of other comparable municipalities.
So Peru's the only one locally that has something like this?
Pardon me?
Did you say Peru is the only local municipality that has like a shared service regarding sewer?
No, they have the system with the E1 pumps.
And that's it?
And that's what we gotta talk about is, you know, Adam's feeling is it's gonna be way too much work involved trying to keep that maintained. And I need to talk to those towns and find out how much time they put into maintenance, to give them a different comfort level. Or we end up having to do something different, one or the other. We have to have a plan.
When we were discussing this over the course of the last year, and the village was involved in assisting with this decision, where were these guys in their concern for how we came to the
They-
final resolution?
They got brought in too late to the table. It was John Labonte at a previous meeting that I went to about a week before, said, we gotta get these guys in here so they know what's coming. So that was the first time it actually got discussed in detail with them. I think it may have been asked at one point, but they didn't get the details.
So they have a copy of this,
Yes.
and they're gonna talk about it at their second monthly meeting here coming up?
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's meeting. Right? Tomorrow night's, no, next Monday's meeting, I'm
It's next
sorry.
Monday.
Next Monday's meeting, I'm off, and I'm getting tired. Yes, and then hopefully we would then, catch, their next meeting is what, early October? Which will work. Yes, they have one the 15th, and the next one after that is the 6th of October. I would have to have final approval then. 'Cause that's like the week of the deadline. That's why I've been pushing hard to get it done at the end of the month. So you guys okay with it? Can I, if they, on Monday, if they approve, I mean, I'll probably send it to Matt tomorrow with the purview, we're just waiting till Monday for their approval. You okay with that? We don't need, you wanna make a motion? Probably should make a motion just to approve the draft, to be further reviewed by council. You wanna make it?
Let me go through some of my little tabs here while I'm thinking about it.
Oh, this is what has the tabs.
This is what has the tabs.
Then let's do it.
On page 2, under points of connection, F,
Yeah.
section
Thank you.
1,
Yep,
section 1,
section,
F.
yep,
Yep, after town and village municipal limits, you'll need a period. I know that's kind of silly, but unless you want to,
Semicolon, right, but
Or
yeah,
something.
I
I'll
agree.
put a period.
is it 2 separate sentences?
It is.
Okay. My question in section 4 on here was, on section 4A, 50,000 gallons average daily. I don't know anything about this, so is that what we, as a town, anticipated? Is this reasonable? Because if we overflow for 2 or more successive billings, which is at the end of that paragraph, the village can renegotiate the agreement.
Mhm.
So, is that a reasonable amount?
Yeah, how was that number arrived at?
By the number of hookups available,
in the average that each
On
household.
average, okay.
average beach house.
So what happens if you get new homes or new residences that go into that area? That it would be part of this? What does that mean for that town?
I think they said an ample amount,
Okay.
but I can call and question that again.
Okay.
So I thought I remembered saying at best would be at 50,000, at 40,000 daily. No.
It was just something that came to my mind, so I didn't know how we arrived at it. Your number 6 changed completely. That was operation.
Which one, 6?
Yeah, but I don't see this, this isn't here.
So I get if we had 100 homes hooked up, we'd be doing about 33,000 daily.
Oh, okay.
100 homes?
Yeah,
New homes, or 100 total homes?
it's homes.
And you're assuming it's a
I'm basing it off 10,000
two-bed,
per month.
or three-bed, two-bath,
Single family,
single family?
single family. But I'll question that.
Okay.
What do you have next?
She can't find it in the
Uh,
operations.
Yeah, well, that one, there was, on this one, it said, the village, to file with the town each year prior to March 1st, a report of expenditures regarding the district for the previous year, but I don't see that in here on your revised anywhere.
Was that to do with the O&M?
It says operation under section 6, is that part of what you were talking about?
I think so.
Okay, because number 7 had operations and maintenance on it.
Now it's just debt service, sewer fees, and administration. So your flag was in section 6 at the time?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah. I think I needed the old one, I should have turned that.
It's not at the bottom.
Yeah, that goes along with operation and maintenance. because
Okay, so that's not,
What it's
that
saying,
was taken out.
because we don't have we
Correct.
don't have
Okay.
that consensus yet. So if they were to agree to do operation and maintenance, then the village shall have the following powers and duties upon consultation with and consent of town to operate, maintain, and repair. So tell us that we need to repair this section,
Mhm.
and we say, okay, good, they'll do it. To make necessary purchases and execute necessary contracts. I was intending to have parts stocked at Rose's Point and then being able to reorder, and
Right.
that's the whole, I was hoping to have them be able to keep all the necessary parts that needed to make repairs. And that's what this is to file with the town each year, a report of all those expenditures.
Okay. Okay,
So it goes with that operation and maintenance.
thanks.
That's why it's not missing.
What other tabs you got?
Yeah, the only other one, well, the other ones were answered, sorry.
You sure?
Late payments or failure to make payments, I'm sure that Sarah will make her payments within 45 days, but it seems like 5% added on for a late payment seemed kind of high. But maybe I'm stingy.
Yeah, and I didn't question that, that was something that was standard from another contract.
Okay,
I guess we could see if Matt picks up on that or not.
And have we reviewed the village's sewer law, use law,
Not yet.
chapter 94? It also says in here that we have to agree to any amendments that they make in there from time to time. Should there be something about if there are changes, that we're like notified, and that if they exceed expectations, that, I don't know, that there can be a renegotiation of the contract. And I think there should be something in there, if they go and change your sewer law and it's not to our benefit.
Yeah, what section are you in right now?
That's
Eight?
the section 4,
Way back.
clause C.
Four. Township employee. Yeah, and so what that is really referring to, which, yeah, there could be changes, if in their law, you know, there should be restrictions to what people can dump into the sewer. And we have to comply with those restrictions. That's what this intent is.
I agree that if there are any changes, like to amendments and things, it should be something where there's language in here that says that the town will receive,
Notification.
yeah, and copies of those amendments.
So we could just add to this, the village will supply all amendments to chapter 94 to the town. Something to that effect.
Can we say proposed? We'd love to see them further approved.
So Matt has a copy of this now.
No, I'll set it tomorrow. The village will provide any proposed amendments to the village's sewer use law to the town for review. How's that? I can add to it, but the gist of it's there.
Yeah.
Okay, all good. Anything else? So what I'll do is I'll make these changes. I'll find out that 50,000 from Anthony, if that needs to be different or not.
So will Chris be doing the meter testing?
No, I don't think so. I think
It's gotta be no less than 1 year apart. That's section 6, letter C.
So, I'm thinking we're gonna have to have the manufacturer of that meter do this, but yeah, we'll have to schedule it. We'll also be able to compare data. We'll have our billing data from this master meter,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll have all of our usage data from the customers. So they should come within a few percent, right? And there must be a variance between meters, but if something is really awry, we should know if this master meter is wrong. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're gonna have to kind of monitor that during the billing cycle. Yeah, see, it's saying right here, it's flow meter registration deviation of less than 5% is incorrect. So if we see a greater than 5% difference, we need to probably have it tested. Less than, and not wait a year. Okay? You think we're good enough to move forward with it, or?
just marking up that Title 9, or Article 9 of Chapter 94 of the Villages Sewer and Use Law in F, Section 1.
So we can take a look at it.
It's got discharge restrictions.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure it's stuff like no paints, chemicals. Maybe get into detail with objects. No matchbox cutters.
Well, that's gonna happen. Anybody that's got kids, right?
Well, that's what Adam's worried about. How many times does the pump get tore out?
That's gonna happen. And the funny thing is, it might not always be the kids.
Well, the difference here is, right now, taking your village system or even the system, either village system, you put something down your drains, your toilet, once it's gone, it's out of your mind, right? It gets down to the nearest lift station, screws it all up, now it's a village's problem. This becomes their problem, because when they dump something down that screws up that pump, they don't have a drain no more. They're at our mercy to go there and fix it. It's gonna be a more painful lesson. In other words, they're gonna,
Can you see if Chris
Feel
can
the
send us, Chris Latrimore can send us the Villages Sewer Use Law? Just a PDF or something, just to maybe go through that.
okay. Can we move on to the hydrant? Okay, Duval Road hydrant, we have it in. I cannot get it scheduled with the Village of Champlain, they do not have time. I got that from the mayor, she told me all the projects that they are in arrears at to get done before snow flies. She said, they just don't have time. So we need to, I spoke with Alan today. Once I set a date, he said, I'll get it back over there, we'll get it done. So I need to I would like to contact the Village of Russ Point now to see if they will come do the work for us. You know, have our equipment dig, but I need their men, they're gonna come with a couple of men, and we need to get that put in.
Makes sense.
Make sense, you'll go to that? So I will call them on that. Next is approval of the EDU report. So I see that the Border Patrol station is not live yet, so you're.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, and that's something we need to make an appointment with somebody from the Border Patrol station that will sit down with us and kind of, similar to like what happened up at the border. You know, cause you're talking a government entity, it's, so, I don't know if we're talking,
See, they're similar to the fire station right now. I believe they have a meter, and they're probably using some water for some of the construction work. They don't have anything installed yet, and they haven't tied into the sewer yet.
Right.
And it looks like they're planning on it, because if you notice, it's all staked out on the edge of the bank property.
Okay,
So it looks like they've decided to bore
all right,
and go tie in, but we haven't heard from them. And it's gonna be one of those things again where the village is probably gonna hear before us.
yeah, because they're doing pieces to that.
So they're probably quite a few months away from
Right.
that point. So what do? Do you attach, assign EDUs once they actually have a water account and they're using water?
That's a great question, because if they operate like the taxes, how do you do that? I mean, unless they're gonna do it in November, or this year, this calendar year,
Yeah.
and I don't know that. I mean, with a lot of government projects, they all of a sudden run out of funding, so they can't continue. I don't know where they are with it, Tom.
Right, and Julie, what's our deadline to get that on the tax roll?
Well, it has to be in by then, like probably around the 12th, let's see, November, around the 14th in November.
Right.
So if we don't, they're not gonna go live by then, so this is gonna be next year.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I
that's
just
why
wanted-
they're
I just
not,
wanted
they're
to
not
talk-
in this.
I wanna talk it through, that's all.
No, you can't, until you actually have something you can work with as far as fixtures and, and we don't know anything. So, I would
They
imagine
never
an
filled,
appointment with Ray.
they didn't fill out a request, a permit, telling us how many fixtures, et cetera?
I can ask Chris, but he didn't seem to indicate that at our, when we met in July.
Cause I know that I had requested that when we put the water in.
I can reach out to Chris and see, but he didn't say anything at our meeting in regards to that.
Yeah, there should be a permit that was filled out.
Yeah, he-
There
Because
hasn't,
that-
there hasn't been one for wastewater yet, but there, should have been one for water.
yeah.
And that's what you need to base it off
Correct. You can't do it without that. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. So it really boils down to just those 4 parcels where 2 of them have been kind of removed, where again, there is no change in the actual EDUs, because now you have 4 new parcels in regards to that account 98. And of course, account 164 was merged with the 19.1-34, okay, which is below, Dupree Feed and Supply. And then the only other 2 where there's a change is Kyle Russell, where the house was vacant. That is up to 1. And then, of course, McDonald's we talked about in length in regards to the upgrades and the fixtures, and so we've kind of increased that. So it'll end up showing an increase of 8.5 EDUs from where we were in 2024. And our new base numbers, as you can see above the table, actually show that effective the end of July, we're looking at about 577.80 EDUs.
And do you remember where we were when the last baseline was established?
We were relatively,
When we exceeded that 40 and we,
yeah, we were 20, in terms of the difference between the village and the town, 20 some odd, so. Yeah, difference.
so now we're 28 or
Oh,
something?
no, I think we're closer than that. I'll dare say, depends on where they go with their EDUs. And so, we've gotta wait and see what the water board says that, where they are.
Yeah, Kim's
Cause
just,
they were at 617, I believe,
yeah,
and so.
okay. It is what it is. They
It's
will-
close.
They will get a good increase from Amazon next year, so.
I would imagine they will get a big increase, yeah.
Yeah, that's based off square footage stuff.
Yeah, so if, I would bet you will see an increase,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
So we have to approve these changes so we can send them
Correct,
to the county and put them in tax bill.
correct, and again, it's only really, it's just a few, correct.
This one,
That's,
and then
that's
these
it,
2 are gone.
and that's right, so.
Okay,
Those have already been removed, like the one that got merged with to do?
No, cause nothing gets changed
No.
until,
You have to make that change, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a once a year.
So basically, it's four changes,
yeah,
correct?
Correct,
Yes.
there's 4 changes,
4 changes to be made.
but only 2 with the
Wow.
EDU changes,
Yes.
yeah, on balance.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the annual EDU, Town of Champlain's EDU annual assessment as presented by Councilmember Hunter, and approve the adjustments necessary for these 8.5 EDUs to these properties for submission to the county, right?
I'll second.
And at the time, Chris did not have any suggestions for any changes between the 2 municipalities. Similar to last year, we had recommendations, but there was nothing this year, so.
I see, okay. You mean for the report itself?
For the report itself, in terms of, for planning purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much for that.
And thank you to the EDU Assessment Committee
Yes,
for
thank
providing their
you.
time to do
Yes,
that.
thank you to the whole committee, correct. Yeah. Is Brian gonna be able to stay on to that, or is he gonna?
Probably not,
Right?
but
Because of his health.
currently it's Chris and Tim and Jason and myself, so. And Brian.
Do we need to put a new member on after Brian retires?
I don't know, what do you think, Jay?
We can discuss it. It's possible. It's nice to have enough voices and
Right.
oversight. Brian, of course, he remembered some things from,
Yeah,
Have a history,
the history of the water, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
and we don't have that right now. I mean, other than Tim, and I relied a lot on him when I asked questions, so.
Yeah, well, I guess decide that on your own, maybe next committee meeting. It should be later, not sooner. It wouldn't hurt probably to put another member on. Okay. Old business, well, we gotta get to this thing one of these days.
You're off your
Let's,
desk.
let's get through the budget and let's nail that thing down. I'm sorry, but.
No, I apologize as well.
My plate
It's
is so overfull of these projects that I haven't got to it. So revisions to investment policy remains an old business. Our next business meeting is scheduled for October 14th, 2025. And of course, we scheduled our first budget meeting for September 30th. Motion to adjourn.
October 1st.
October 1st, not the 30th.
Oh, that's right, we moved it.
Right.
I look at the wrong note. I'm sorry, October 1st. Get rid of last year's note. Get tired.
And for the public's knowledge, is it open to the public to,
It's an open meeting.
it is, so, please,
It is an open meeting.
let's head off any questions before they arise.
before we adjourn, we probably should just give a nice shout out to, now former Assemblyman Billy Jones for his many years of service and for his dedication to the town of Champlain.
To the town of Champlain and all of the North Country region. He is gonna be missed. He's worked very, very hard in his tenure. So yes, good luck, Billy. Hope to see you soon. Glad you're still working in the area. We'll bump into each other.
And I just want to, I know Supervisor Tremblay mentioned National Fitness ribbon cutting. I also want to thank those students from Northeastern Clinton that were able to come over and kind of make it look so easy.
Well, they made it complete. They really did.
They did.
They rounded that whole event off. and they were fun to watch. Hope to see them out there soon.
Exhausting.
Exhausting to watch, but I live in Darcy. All right, motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Wow, that's a long meeting, thank you very much. Charles,
Did you take care of the horses before these meetings?
Yeah,
Just checking.
and I ate supper.
I did too, but I wolf supper.
Hi, what?